Knox boys at Centerburg.
High school basketball on WMVO is brought to you in part by
Cubbage Electric, Plumbing and Construction, Griffin Insurance, Pizza Cottage, and New Directions Domestic Violence Support Center.
This is Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction High School Basketball on WMVO.
Tonight's game also live streaming with video on the WMVO Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Now, let's go courtside for the call of tonight's action.
All right, we welcome you into high school basketball here. And if you're looking on the video, it is 35-35, but they're in overtime of the junior varsity contest. And then we'll get ready for action here from Centerburg once again. We were here last night and saw as a three goes down for the East Knox Bulldogs. And we were here last night. Jesse Dudgeon hit that three, but we were here last night for the Centerburg girls basketball game, and they stay undefeated, won their 11th consecutive home game, go to 8-0 on the season. And a ball game for them that saw them only up by 5 at the half, but dominating in the second half to get that win. Meanwhile, the Centerburg boys basketball team, you know, we've got a chance to see them a couple of times here already. We saw them against Utica, we saw them against Mount Vernon, and we'll get an opportunity here in a conference matchup for East Knox and Centerburg. And on the Centerburg side of things, they're sitting at 3-2, and they're 2-0 in the KMAC, just a half game back of the lead in the KMAC. I mean, technically they would be tied, but they're, you know, Fredericktown's played one more conference game than them, but
it's early.
You look at it for Centerburg and East Knox. I'm just going to tell you right off the top, those who are wanting to view this tonight, this afternoon, and those who are wanting to listen to it this afternoon, you're probably not going to see a lot of scoring.
No.
These are the two worst offenses in the Knoxmore Athletic Conference. They're scoring-wise. And these are two teams that are hoping to make a run. And look, when we went into the year for this, obviously a great matchup that's going to happen, and we're going to have it here on WMVO, is we're going to have Fredericktown and Northmore. And that'll be a great matchup there, and a lot of people figure they're the favorite. But, boy, John Marhefka over at Centerburg, he takes teams that, you know, looking at this Centerburg team, they've got a guy in Trevin Harris that's scoring over 13 points per game, but they don't have that standout person that's going to come out and get them 20 points a night. But he still finds a way. He's one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the conference. And Centerburg sitting at 2-0 in the conference, 3-2 overall. Meanwhile, East Knox 2-4. They're 1-2 in the conference. And for them, Bo, you know, look, they were able to hang with Fredericktown. Granted, Gavin Toombs didn't play in the first half. But in that second half, they got dominated, specifically in the third quarter. But this is a different style play. You know, when I was in high school, that was a long time ago, East Knox really wanted to play in the half court. And when Ryan Powell got to East Knox, they really wanted to play in the half court. They wanted to play a half court game. They wanted to slow the game down. It's not what this team's about anymore. They want to get up and down the floor. They want to run and get out in transition. So it's a little bit different. It can keep you in a ball game, but like you saw against Fredericktown, but it can also have its deficiencies as well. But as the team right now is at 2-4 at East Knox.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like you said, they like to run. We see that kind of tendency from Centerburg too as well. But I think it will be interesting because, like you said, these are probably two of the least scoring offenses in the KMAC. On the flip side, kind of positively, they both give up a lot of points too. So we might find one of these offenses maybe shine a little bit today. But like you said, East Knox will play all how long's a high school court nowadays? I was going to say all 75 feet of it, all 90 feet. I don't forget how long they are. It's been a while since I played. Like you said, high school's been a while.
94.
94? Okay, yeah. 94. I was saying.
I didn't Google that either.
The only numbers I remember are 17 and 35 for suicides and half-court line drills.
Now, of course, 35 is a number you got to remember in high school now because that's when a running clock starts.
Yeah, that's another
which
number.
We've had a couple of times already this year. But Centerburg and East Knox facing off today, and you've got a Centerburg team, again, averaging just 47.4 points per game, which is the lowest in the KMAC, and East Knox right behind him, second lowest in the Knoxmore Athletic Conference at 52 points per game. Meanwhile, Centerburg allows the fourth most points in the conference at 56.6, and East Knox allowing the third most at 59 points per game. But these two teams, they kind of, and you look at it, are on the same skill level to an extent because every year you look at a conference and you say, okay, well, right now, what is it really? Fredericktown and Northmore are up top, and a lot of people expect them to kind of face off. They're going to battle in the conference at times this year. And then you kind of go down the line, and who is it? You know, is it Danville? They just got underway, but Centerburg beat them. Centerburg's pretty much always going to be there because of John Barhefke and what he can do with teams and things. But Ryan Powell, he's done a really nice job with this group. Remember a couple of years ago, he got him to a district championship, and so he's a very good coach in his own right and has done a really nice job with this East Knox program. And right now you are watching the junior varsity contest, so if you're tuned in with us, 40-35, East Knox with the lead, 28.5 seconds to go in this overtime period. Although it says 4 up there. They don't typically change it here at Centerburg.
I have noticed that before,
yeah,
too.
They don't do it. But anyway, right now it's 25 seconds to go in the overtime period, and East Knox with a 5-point advantage in this ball game. Well, overall, like you said, we have not seen Fredericktown. I know Curtis got an opportunity last Saturday, and Gavin Toombs and Carson Reinhardt had a good game, had 23 points in that game against East Knox, and they've got so many pieces, Brody Davis and those things. But East Knox and Centerburg, this matchup here today, as I mentioned, could be very even. And for Centerburg, Trevin Harris averaging 13 points per game. Bennett Hill shooting 48% from 3, 12.5 points per game. Those are 2 guys for Centerburg that you have to step up. And then we got a chance to catch up with Hayden Merritt and Corbin Pop, and along with Landon Dawson. Those are 3 guys that have got to step up for the East Knox Bulldogs.
And like you're hitting on, I think the big thing we always talked about Centerburg's offense, the one thing I always said was we didn't really have a guy that was like the 3-point shooter or the green light guy. So it's good to hear that Bennett Hill, you know, like you said, shooting it at about a 48% clip from 3. That'd be the guy that I'd give the green light to let it fly, you know, if you need a 3-ball from the Trojans. And you're talking about the big 3 there from East Knox. The one thing I think is interesting is they have 2 freshmen, both give a lot of good length in Peyton Hall and Landon Dawson, like you said. But they're both very tall, 6 foot plus. They have no sophomores, so this roster is full of juniors and seniors. I know, like you said, the record early on is not there with the 1 and 2 and the 2 and 4 overall. My bad, I had to look at my notes there. But you like to see that they have a bunch of juniors and seniors that have experience and can maybe right this ship. And today would be a good day to get, you know, an easy little Saturday win, you know, heading into winter break and school breaks.
Well, the JV game in overtime is a final, 41-35, as the East Knox Bulldogs come into Centerburg and get the victory. And Centerburg, no freshman team this year, so the junior varsity contest is a final, as Centerburg and East Knox on the varsity side will get ready for action. Again, we were just here last night, and we would have kept our stuff in here, but we weren't allowed to, so Gary had to take it all the way back home and bring it back. But no, we're here last night. Centerburg girls have had a great season at this point. They're 8-0, and Centerburg boys, the basketball team for Centerburg that hasn't won a district title since 2010. And their last conference championship, not too long ago, 2022, but 2010, the last district championship team. You know who's in high school back then?
You.
Me. That's a long time. That was my senior class that ended up winning a district championship and went on to play Lima Central Catholic in a regional semifinal. Well, they had a kid go to Michigan State to play quarterback, so yeah. They were pretty good at Lima Central Catholic. Anyway, Lima Central Catholic won the state championship that year, and the Centerburg Trojans have not won a district championship since that time. And they're looking to, and you know, obviously it's a lot different than it was when we were in school, Bo.
No,
even when you are, because you're young, but now it's changed. There are 6 divisions, and so you have, you know, less people in a division that end up vying for a district championship, so it's a lot different than it used to be. But the fact is, you got to win these kind of games to get yourself in a good position with the RPI, and then get yourself placed in a good spot on the bracket to be able to win those district championships.
Yeah, like you said, how it's changed over time. You know, when I played, it was right after the COVID, so it was just kind of when the changes started happening. they made kind of these super districts. I know there's more divisions now as a whole, but the districts really opened up, so it let a lot of teams, even from somewhat of the same areas, win different district titles based on where they kind of match up in the bracket. Because I remember even where I'm from, I was playing an hour away in Cleveland in a couple playoff games, and that's a huge span. So even teams here in the central area, they have a bigger chance but a slimmer chance in different aspects on winning that district title. But hey, that is the big goal for most teams around the state of Ohio. I know some other programs maybe already have their eyes set on state championships, stuff like that, but a district title means a lot, and it'd be great, if one of these teams could, or potentially both, bring, district titles back to the KMAC.
Well, the Knoxmore Athletic Conference, again, on paper, it looks like it's Fredericktown, Northmore, and everybody else, but Centerburg and East Knox. Centerburg sitting at 2-0 in the Knoxmore Athletic Conference, looking to improve to 3-0 and 4-2 overall, while East Knox trying to inch closer to 500 and get back to 500 in the Knoxmore Athletic Conference. It is Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction High School basketball here this afternoon, also presented by Pizza Cottage and New Directions as we get ready for basketball. Don't forget, tonight also, I do want to throw this mention out there, we will have Ohio State and Tennessee in the college football playoff action. Pregame at 6:30 p.m. on WMBO, not live streaming. Gary, we did offer to send Gary to the shoe, but he said it's too cold. So here we are inside. But once again, it's going to be Centerburg and East Knox and boys high school basketball. Let's take this break. We'll come back, and more is coming up here on WMBO.
In Mount Vernon is one of 11 pizza cottages in Ohio. They are among the nation's best performing pizzerias and ranked in Pizza Today. The finest ingredients is used daily. Treat your customers and employees like family and always give back to the community. Offering not only takeout but also dine-in and full bar. Book your group parties today. Find Pizza Cottage on Facebook or go to pizza-cottage.com to begin your journey of tastes.
New Directions, the domestic violence shelter and rape crisis center of Knox County, served more than 600 individuals in 2023. It could be a family member, a coworker, or a friend. It takes a community to break the cycle of violence. To learn more about how you can support New Directions in connecting and strengthening our community, visit our website, www.newdirectionsknox.org, or call our 24/7 hotline at 740-397-HELP.
The Mount Vernon Players presents the Charles Dickens classic, The Christmas Carol. The radio show production will be aired on Christmas Eve at 7 o'clock p.m. on WMVO 100.9 FM or streaming on the WMVO app. Tune in and listen to Scrooge being visited by a series of ghosts, past, present, and future, as he discovers the truths about himself as he realizes the importance of the Christmas season. Again, a Charles Dickens classic on Christmas Eve, 7 to 7:30 on WMVO by the Mount Vernon Players.
We are back here in Centerburg, where Centerburg and East Knox, the boys basketball, set to face off this afternoon. And the Centerburg Trojans and the East Knox Bulldogs in the Knoxmore Athletic Conference action here today. And if you look at it for Centerburg, Trevin Harris averaged 13 points per game, Bennett Hill and Jack Lawrence, they're all three averaging pretty much, really, when you look at it for Jack Lawrence, he's 0.2 points away from 10 points per game. So rounded up, 10 points per game. Three guys averaging double digits for Centerburg. And again, this is a Centerburg team. This is not like when Ross Ryan was here and when Carter Jones was here and when Colton Martin was here and when Grayson Reynolds was here. When you look at those names, every one of those guys, they had that kind of go-to guy. This team doesn't really have that. Not saying that's a bad thing, because if the number of guys can do things, but they have to have guys step up, multiple guys a night, to be able to be successful. But it's been okay so far for Centerburg, 2-0 in the KMAC.
Like you said, you look at the paper, and that's really good having three scorers that average close to, double digits. The only problem is past those three guys, you really don't have anybody averaging more than, maybe 4 or 5 points. So, you really don't have that supporting cast behind those three scorers. And that's why they only score close to, 45 points a game. So if we can find some other characters to maybe step it up, and whether it's Rodaback has 8 or 10 a night off the bench, or whether it's Blaine Ball helps out and scores 8 or 10, you just got to have different people kind of pitch in behind those 3 guys that you've kind of already assembled as your main scorers. So it'll be interesting to see how the supporting cast kind of comes together, especially today against a team like you said, East Knox, who it's very comparable, very competitive, I'd say, on both ends here for today's game.
For the East Knox Bulldogs, Hayden Merritt averaging 13 points per game, and kind of know what you're going to get from Hayden Merritt. He can shoot the basketball. Got a chance to talk with him a couple of weeks ago on the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show. And, he's there. Corbin Puff averages about 10 points per game. Landon Dawson over 11 points per game. Kyson Miller 10 points per game. So, again, kind of very similar to Centerburg, and that different guys can score, so you're not really able to key on somebody. But I guess if you're Centerburg, kind of you want to key on Hayden Merritt if you need to, and then don't allow Trevin Harris to beat you on the other side. But, again, these are two teams that, realistically speaking, they don't have a ton of size. They have to get up and down the floor and play in transition, and that's exactly what East Knox wants to do. East Knox Bulldogs, of course, played well with Fredericktown, as we were talking about last week, until the third quarter when they were outscored by 21 points. And, it is worth mentioning that Gavin Toombs didn't play the first half of that game. And so when you see that size enter in the ball game and that skill set, Gavin Toombs is one of the best players, if not the best player at the KMAC. And he comes into the ball game. It's completely a different ball game. But for this one this afternoon, this is a good test for both these teams. See where they're at before the Christmas break. I know they're on Christmas break right now, but before they get into the new year, kind of see where everybody sits in the conference, make those adjustments, and then go into the new year with a sense of, hey, we can do this, we can make a run. Specifically, you're Centerburg right now, 2-0 in the Knoxmore Athletic Conference.
Yeah, like you said, you can build to 3-0 here, and I know people don't see that, there's not that many games that happen on Christmas break, but obviously these teams are practicing. They get maybe one day off, if that. So they'll be working, and it would be great to, get a win to go into work, go into practice, go put in a full week and a half before your next game, and kind of build off that. Like you said, the record might not be the greatest, a game above 500, but 2-0 in the KMAC's a great start, and you put yourself at a good chance, if you go to 3-0.
Again, Centerburg Trojans, coached by John Marhefka, Ryan Powell, the head boys basketball coach of the East Knox Bulldogs. East Knox coming off a loss Wednesday to Northmore, 62-42 in that game. A Northmore team that, again, they've got A.J. Bauer, Jax Wenger is one of the top. I believe he's the top scorer right now in the Knoxmore Athletic Conference. Of course, they got started a little bit later because of their run in the Final Four. But in that ball game, East Knox lost to Northmore by 20, but they were outscored by 15 points in the third quarter, much like they struggled in the third quarter against Fredericktown a week ago. And so had they not been outscored by 15, it's probably a different ball game against Northmore. Meanwhile, Centerburg defeated Mount Gilead at 56-42, and they were kind of on the flip side. They were up by 6 going to the fourth quarter, outscored the Indians by 8, and end up winning that basketball game in what feels like a situation where Centerburg is trending upward. One thing that we were talking about with some Centerburg people, though, last night was the fact that they said, hey, when they played over that game at Mount Gilead, they played 5 guys. They didn't go to the bench. Nobody else played. That's a risky situation. Listen, I trust John Marhefka all the way when it comes to coaching. But 5 guys, I don't know if that's sustainable to do throughout the season. I think John knows that as well. But in high school, one of the things my old broadcast partner Dave Dahlstein used to say is in high school, it's about talent. If you have more talent than somebody else, and sometimes you want those 5 guys on the floor that can get the job done. And Centerburg did that the other night, and they got the job done. Yeah,
I mean, like we said, it's a risky play to kind of go that route. But like you said, if Marhefka trusts in it, then there must be a good reason why he's doing it. And, they won. Obviously, like you said, it is not sustainable. I'll tell you that right now. It is not sustainable. You cannot play 20 more games, on a schedule and have 5 guys play all 20 games.
Yep.
But, you don't have to do that. You just find different ways to win no matter what opportunity presents itself to you. East Knox may use their whole bench today, and you might have to use guys that you never thought you were going to use against them. Or, heck, they might go 5-on-5, and we're just watching, a 5-man open gym here, same 10 players playing. So it's just whatever kind of challenge presents itself, you got to figure out a way to struggle, or not struggle, but power through that struggle with that adversity and find a win. And I think, like you said, having Marhefka here, he can help you get some of those wins where on paper maybe you shouldn't have, but because they didn't play their best or because you brought it and they didn't, maybe they can scratch out a win.
There's only a couple of kids on this Centerburg team that didn't participate in the JV game.
Yeah.
I mean, Miles Marshall and Thomas Schaller, and that's it. The rest all played in the junior varsity game. So, realistically speaking, they don't have a ton of quarters remaining anyway, so you need those 5. But if Miles Marshall can give something off the bench potentially today, but it looks like they want to go with the short rotation. And, hey, it worked against Mount Gilead. Will it work tonight? The other thing is, of course, Isaiah Sully injured his leg in football and hasn't really been the same player for the Centerburg team. We kind of went back and looked at the points per game and different things, and he's not even really listed up there in terms of points per game. I think he's averaging like 2 points per contest. And he's a guy that was a threat from the outside, could bang a corner 3, but has been almost a non-factor. And it's not his fault. I mean, if you're injured, it's tough to play, but Centerburg needs more production from him if he's able to power through it here against East Knox.
Yeah, I think the big thing with him is he's a good facilitator. He doesn't usually bring the ball up a ton. Sometimes you get Trevin Harris to bring it up. But the one thing is in the half court, Sule usually takes a good job of controlling the basketball, not turning it over. And like you said, with him being injured, it kind of lags him here and there in some kind of aspects. And it's not really the same player like you said. But it'll be interesting. I've been seeing him warm up right now. It looks like he's hit a couple threes, so that's good to get him comfortable for the day. I know we're watching East Knox warm up on the TV, but right now both teams are shooting around. And like I said, I think Sule will be, a game breaker today if he can control the ball in the half court, because if you can lessen the turnovers for Centerburg, that'll be the way that they can actually score more points and maybe even beat that average, maybe get it up a little bit.
Well, Centerburg and East Knox, they go back a long way. And when I was in high school many years ago, Centerburg played East Knox here at Centerburg, and Luke Brandstole was playing for the East Knox Bulldogs. He was a really good post player for the Bulldogs, but Centerburg came out and played a box and one or zone against them. Centerburg was up 18-0 at the end of one. Now, East Knox actually came back in that game to tie it, and Centerburg won the game, but they have had some talent throughout the years, different guys here at East Knox, and here sitting at 2-4, trying to get back to 500 in the conference and get closer to 500 overall. The East Knox Bulldogs and the Centerburg Trojans here from the Berg this afternoon on 100.9 FM, 93.7 HD2 and WMVO.com. So we're excited about this matchup in KMAC play as Centerburg and East Knox get ready for basketball. Well, let's take this break. We'll come back, get the national anthem, the starting lineups, and the opening tip. That's all coming up on the WMVO Facebook page live streaming and on the radio, 100.9 FM, 93.7 HD2 and WMVO.com. Presented by Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction, New Direction Shelter of Knox County, and Pizza Cottage. Try the BLT pizza today. All right, let's take this break. We'll come back and more coming up here on WMVO.
Your sinks are backed up, the electric in your master bedroom needs rewired, and now the wife is asking for a new addition. It's time to get in touch with Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Now Construction. Give Brian and his team a call at 740-627-8004. They can fix your electrical and plumbing needs and give your bathroom and kitchen a remodel.
Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Construction is a proud sponsor for all the local high school teams.
Enjoy the season. Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Construction. 740-627-8004.
Few products elicit the passions and commitments like sports, and that is especially true in this area. If you're enjoying this broadcast and own a business, your business can enjoy the benefits of being associated with and supporting these broadcasts while reaching a captive, passionate, and loyal audience. For information and to find out how your business can be a sponsor of these exciting broadcasts, call one of our marketing consultants today, 740-397-1000. That's 397-1000.
The Mount Vernon Players presents the Charles Dickens classic, The Christmas Carol. The radio show production will be aired on Christmas Eve at 7 o'clock p.m. on WMVO 100.9 FM or streaming on the WMVO app. Tune in and listen to Scrooge being visited by a series of ghosts, past, present, and future, as he discovers the truths about himself as he realizes the importance of the Christmas season. Again, a Charles Dickens classic on Christmas Eve, 7 to 7:30 on WMVO by the Mount Vernon Players.
Pizza Cottage in Mount Vernon is one of 11 pizza cottages in Ohio. They are among the nation's best performing pizzerias and ranked in Pizza Today. The finest ingredients is used daily. Treat your customers and employees like family and always give back to the community. Offering not only takeout but also dine-in and full bar. Book your group parties today. Find Pizza Cottage on Facebook or go to pizza-cottage.com to begin your journey of tastes.
All right, we are back here in Centerburg, the national anthem here in the Berg. Beautiful rendition, and it is time for high school basketball this afternoon. One of the final times in 2024 we'll have hoops. And, of course, we'll also have hoops coming up on the 28th against Delaware Hayes. The Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets will be in action. They beat Watkins Memorial last night, by the way. Centerburg and East Knox this afternoon here on WMVO. Live streaming on our WMVO Facebook page and on the radio on WMVO. Let's get the starting lineups here, Bo, as East Knox Bulldogs, Centerburg Trojans face off this afternoon.
Yeah, for East Knox, we started off with number 1, Logan Whitney, the senior, followed by number 2, Landon Dawson, the freshman. Got to keep an eye on there in number 2. Number 11, Kyson Miller, a junior. Number 12, Corbin Paffa, you said we saw earlier, a senior, and number 21, Hayden Merritt, a senior, who is leading this team with 13 points per game. The guy to keep a big eye on, like we said, Merritt and Dawson. For Centerburg, we have number 3, Blaine Ball. He's a junior. Number 5, Bennett Hill, a senior. Keep an eye on him on the offensive end. Number 10, one of my favorite players to watch in the KMAC. I hate to be biased, but number 10, Jack Lawrence, just a gritty guy, all-around great player, senior. Number 13, Isaiah Soule, another senior. Keep an eye on him, see how he plays in the half court on offense. And, of course, the most featured player here on the Trojan offense, number 23, Trevin Harris, a senior, leading scorer, 13 points per game.
Centerburg and East Knox in boys high school basketball. Centerburg, for those listening on the radio and don't see it, they're home whites with the white shorts, the red and gray trim. Trojans at the front in red, trimmed in gray. And for the East Knox Bulldogs, they have their visiting purple with the purple shorts, purple tops. East Knox with the the white with the yellow trim on it. And get ready for basketball. Hayden Merritt will be jumping center circle, presumably against Trevin Harris for Centerburg.
That's what I'd probably be putting my bet on as well.
Looking at this ball game, Trevin Harris coming out for Centerburg. Again, the Trojans here come in averaging just over 47 points per game, the lowest in the KMAC. 52 points per game for East Knox, second lowest in the KMAC. As we get ready for basketball here for the Berg this afternoon. Centerburg 2-0 in the conference. Need this one here at home. Ball in the air, controlled by the East Knox Bulldogs. Kyson Miller, and he gives it up. And Whitney will run the point. He dribbles and gives it on the left wing. Bounce down to Hayden Merritt, head of the key against the zone defense from Centerburg. Now on the left wing. Kyson Miller has it. Stops in the left wing. Bounces for Merritt. Taken away by Trevin Harris. Jumped the route. Throws it up the floor. Bennett Hill in transition. Nice feed to Jack Lawrence. Can't finish right at the rim. Logan Whitney clears it. for East Knox, who now pushes for their second possession after turning it over on their first one. Now 30 seconds into the game. We're scoreless here in Centerburg. Kyson Miller with it on the left wing between the circles. Now for Logan Whitney. Back to Kyson Miller on the left wing. Fires away an open three. Kyson Miller has it rim out. Ball hits the ground. Picked up by Lawrence. Knocked away, but picked back up. Now he loses it out of bounds. Jack Lawrence. And East Knox will get the basketball. Hayden Merritt got his hand in there, staying active. Turnover on Centerburg.
Yeah, this is interesting right here. Like you said, the zone. Centerburg's coming out here in a 1-2-2. You don't really see that too much, but they're going to try and force East Knox to shoot those long threes like you saw. Great look by East Knox. Just got to cash it in now.
Logan Whitney playing catch up top with Kyson Miller. And I can tell you, they'll wait up top against the zone. They're just playing catch. Miller and Whitney. Whitney to Miller. Kyson Miller back to Logan Whitney. Ball fakes it. And look, they'll take their time. Logan Whitney looking inside. Looking for Miller. Playing catch once again. Finally to Pop. Pop tries to go inside. Taken away by Lawrence. Second turnover in a row for East Knox. Lawrence to the rack. Nice move. Finishes right at the rim. With the right hand, Lawrence finally got a point here.
Great finish. You know, defense leads to offense. And, hey, number 10 getting after it.
2 turnovers already for East Knox. Poff looking for some help. Throws it back behind him for Miller. Miller has it knocked away and taken away by Trevin Harris. So 3 turnovers on 3 possessions for the Bulldogs. Now Bennett Hill dribbles the left baseline, puts it up with the right hand, and he is blocked but fouled, I guess, by Hayden Merritt. And Merritt picks up his first foul. And Bennett Hill to the free throw line for Centerburg. So 3 possessions, 3 turnovers for the East Knox Bulldogs.
I know he might be a little upset there, but when you leave your feet, you're at the mercy of the ref and you're at the mercy of the player. So great take there by Bennett Hill, but got to cash in at the line. We'll see if he gets the second one. And like you said, turnovers for East Knox. That first possession, they did a great job. I know how you said pitch and catch, they were playing up top. Keep doing that. You want to make Centerburg get a little too antsy, maybe gamble here or there. And, hey, if you can waste maybe a minute, get 2 points out of it, hey, that's what you want to do here if you're East Knox.
Tyson Miller gets it in the front court to Corbin Pop. He picks up the dribble, throws it across court, left the lane to Merritt. Now Whitney with the basketball. Stops it inside. And with a move inside, leaving it short, popped up. Another rebound there for Dawson. Dawson now ball on the floor and a foul called on Centerburg. So Dawson got it, good position, had a good look, left it short, and now Centerburg picks up the foul. It's Jack Lawrence. And again, this is Centerburg team that brought nobody off the bench in their win against Mount Gilead on Wednesday. Trying to get the basketball in, having some trouble flipping it up to Pop. Now Merritt. 6:03 to go in the opening quarter. 3-0 Centerburg. Merritt one-on-one with Trevin Harris. Dribbling right to the lane, Merritt. Merritt makes a nice move, can't finish. It's the bottom of the backboard. Picked up by Lawrence, pushes up the left sideline. Now in the middle of the floor, right wing. Blaine Ball, right to the rim, lays it off the glass and in.
Good finish there. And like we said, defense leads to offense. That's just how Centerburg's going to have to score today. Just keep running it up.
Well, East Knox trailing 5-0 now. Merritt with a good feed there to Dawson. Dawson, offensive foul. Dawson, good size. Big kid, but he lowered the shoulder that time and picks up the foul, so second foul. Now on the East Knox Bulldogs, 5:36 to go in the opening quarter. 5-0 Centerburg with the lead. Solely with the basketball crossing. Gives it up on the right wing for Trevin Harris. So got across the timeline. Blaine Ball high on the left. Drops it down for Lawrence. Back to the basket just above the left elbow. Dribbles once, hands it off Ball. Ball traveled. 5:24 to go in the opening quarter. 5-0 Centerburg, but off the turnover, East Knox gets the basketball, though.
Yeah, I know, like I pointed out earlier, I may have said a little biased to my guy number 10, Jack Lawrence, but right there, that's a play that is the reason why he's one of my favorite players to watch. You love taking charge. That's just a grit play.
Merritt the basketball. Merritt dribbles into the lane. Merritt with the right hand puts it up and in. Good job by Hayden Merritt, just imposing his will and gets East Knox on the board. 5:09 to go in the opening quarter. 5-2 Centerburg. Lane Ball gives it up on the right point solely. Right elbow, Jack Lawrence. Lawrence likes it there, tries to hand it off, but then gives it up to Soley. Soley into the lane, stops, puts it up the right hand. Soley finishes.
It's been some great shots from Centerburg, really utilizing kind of jump faking the guys and making sure that they can get a good shot after East Knox kind of gets out of position.
Whitney gives it up for Miller into the front court. Bounces now for Whitney between the circles. Whitney on the left point, now right wing. Gives it up for Miller. One hands it inside. Can't handle it for Dawson. And last touch by Centerburg. 4:35 to go in the opening quarter. First substitution of this game. Briar Korzek comes into the ball game. 4:35 to go in the opening quarter. 7-2 Centerburg with the lead.
was interesting there. We had Dawson on Lawrence. That was a good little inside game. We'll see how Korosek does here in his
He puts it up, gets partially blocked, tried to get it again, taken away by Trevin Harris. Into the front court, Trevin Harris back behind him to Sully. 4.5 to go in the opening quarter. Sully stops, puts up the right hand, blocked by Merritt, picked up by Miller, and Miller will push it for East Knox. Up to Merritt, knocked away by Blaine. Ball saves it on the sideline to Sully. Sully with a nice feed to Trevin Harris. Harris stops, lays it off the glass and in, left the rim. What a feed by Sully.
They're getting some great looks in transition. They just need to keep this up.
Centerburg up 9-2 here. Great feed by Sully to Harris, though.
And great save by Ball.
Basketball now right of the lane. Kick back out. Miller steps up for a three. Rattles out. Rebound Sully for Centerburg. 9-2. Centerburg with the lead right now. Right wing to Trevin Harris. Trevin Harris, the leading scorer for Centerburg, averaging over 13 points per game. Drops it in for Lawrence. Left hand up, no good. Left it short. Hayden Merritt clears it for East Knox. Now pushes. 9-2 Centerburg right now. 3:40 to go in the opening quarter. Hayden Merritt to Whitney. Logan Whitney with the basketball. 3:35 to go in the opening quarter. And Centerburg looking to go to their bench already. So they didn't go there last time. They are now. Korosek gives it up. Now the drop inside to Merritt. Merritt drops it up for Korosek, who lays it off the glass and in right of the rim.
Yep, just some great passing there to break down the defense. See if East Knox can build off that one here on the defensive end.
Centerburg with the lead, 9-4, 3:14 to go in the opening quarter. Trevin Harris on the right wing. Centerburg is making some substitutions at the next break here, as Sully has it on the right wing. Sully spins around, goes inside. Sully drops it off, knocked away, taken away by Logan Whitney. And he pushes now for the Bulldogs. Nice feed to Kyson Miller, who can't finish right of the rim. Great pass by Logan Whitney, but they couldn't finish at the rim. Blaine Ball, left corner. That's where he likes it. Sully leaves it short. Logan Whitney's playing well right now. He gets the rebound. Logan Whitney with a basketball for the East Knox Bulldogs. Pushes now for Pop. Pop lost the dribble, got it back, throws it right wing. Hayden Merritt puts it on the floor. Right baseline, looks for help. Pop swings it to Whitney, drops it inside. Korosek back out to Pop. Left wing to Whitney. Good ball movement by the Bulldogs right now. Double team. Now Whitney, left wing to Pop. 2:27 to go in the opening quarter. 9-4 Centerburg. Kyson Miller the basketball. Looks now for Logan Whitney. Swings it left wing. Pop fakes the three. Goes inside. Spins around. Leaves it Logan Whitney. Back to Pop. Had an open look. Now gives it up. Throws it inside for Korosek. Knocked away. Picked off. Trevin Harris off the turnover in the front court for Centerburg, leading 9-4. Trevin Harris inside. Trevin Harris up with the right hand. Finishes right of the rim.
Just back down. Had the height advantage and finished it with a strong take.
He's got 4 now in the quarter. And Centerburg with a 7-point lead. East Knox moving the basketball really well, just not finishing at the rim. After a couple turnovers, 3 turnovers to start the game. Logan Whitney bounces. Korosek with the basketball, dribbling right of the lane. Bounces now for Merritt. Dribbles the right baseline and a travel on Merritt. 1:43 to go in the opening quarter. Centerburg with a couple of substitutions here in this one. Carter Roadbeck is into the ball game.
I think he got a haircut.
Yeah, he did. And also Miles Marshall in of the top running backs in the Knox More Athletic Conference. That means nothing when it comes to basketball, though, but random fact for you. 1:38 to go in the opening quarter. 11-4 Centerburg with the lead. Miles Marshall has the basketball for Centerburg. Throws it for Roadbeck, gets through his hands, out of bounds, and it goes back to the East Knox Bulldogs. 1:31 to go in the opening quarter. 11-4 right now, Centerburg the lead. Well,
yeah, I think it's interesting. You said 11 points. I'm going to say all of those came off transition. As you can see, Centerburg is really struggling in the half court. So if East Knox can get a couple buckets, make Centerburg not have any transition possessions, I think it'll make it interesting, make this a little bit of a closer game than 7 points.
Going into the front court, they give it up on the right wing. Miller drops it inside, good speed, and Korosek finishes. He's now got 4 in the game.
Yeah, Miller, great pass. He looked off the defender and just kind of gave a little bit of a no-look bouncer to Korosek there for the finish.
Roadbeck gives it up for Trevin Harris on the right wing. He's got 4 in the quarter. 1 minute to go in the opening quarter. 11-6, Centerburg the lead at the basketball. Looking, nice cut by Roadbeck, and he finishes right of the rim. Great job of giving it up and then cutting immediately after. Centerburg right now with the lead. And Korosek has the basketball, throws it cross court to Pop, puts it on the floor. Pop stops, kind of got it caught on his hip, gives it up in the lane. Bounce to the baseline, Korosek, no, too long. Got his own rebound, though, goes inside, puts it up. Foul on Jack Lawrence. That would be number 2, I believe, on Lawrence. Korosek doing a nice job off the bench. Briar Korosek, the 5'11" senior forward. And he'll go to the free throw line now.
Yeah, he tried to use the classic technique, the brick and rip, but hey, on that second part, he did get fouled, so time to cash in at the line.
And he doesn't. So missed the first one there, but Korsek's done a nice job here in this one, as he's got 4 at the moment. Centerburg led this game 5-0. East Knox trailing 13-6 right now. The free throw is up and no good. Missed them both. So missed both free throws, and with 28 seconds to go in the opening quarter, Rodbeck now dribbles inside, spins around. On the left wing with it. Kind of crossing over, and now gives it for Trevin Harris. Right wing to Miles Marshall. 18 seconds to go in the opening quarter. 13-6. Ball knocked away on the floor, picked up by Miles Marshall. Marshall picks it back up, gives it Rodbeck. He's got it on the baseline, spins around, throws it up wildly, no good. Rebound torn away by Dawson, and now a push into the front court for the East Knox Bulldogs. Scooped up and no good. Ball tipped in the air and saved by Korsek, but no time to get a shot off. 13-6. Centerburg leads it against East Knox at the end of one. It's Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction High School basketball here on WMVO.
Your sinks are backed up, the electric in your master bedroom needs rewired, and now the wife is asking for a new addition. It's time to get in touch with Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Now Construction. Give Brian and his team a call at 740-627-8004. They can fix your electrical and plumbing needs and give your bathroom and kitchen a remodel.
Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction is a proud sponsor for all the local high school teams.
Enjoy the season. Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Construction. 740-627-8004.
Few products elicit the passions and commitments like sports, and that is especially true in this area. If you're enjoying this broadcast and own a business, your business can enjoy the benefits of being associated with and supporting these broadcasts while reaching a captive, passionate, and loyal audience. For information and to find out how your business can be a sponsor of these exciting broadcasts, call one of our marketing consultants today, 740-397-1000. That's 397-1000.
Back here at Centerburg, Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction High School basketball. We start the second quarter. Centerburg up 13-6 on East Knox with the basketball. Bennett Hill gives it to Miles Marshall for Centerburg. Miles Marshall gives on the right wing. Rodebeck with the basketball. Puts it on the floor. Rodebeck, head of the key. 3, up by Soley, and he got it. Soley nails the triple.
I told you, he was looking good in warm-ups. He had a couple. 1 for 2 now on the day. We'll see if he can maybe add a second or third 3 ball here.
Logan Whitney in the backcourt picks up his dribble, drops it for Kyson Miller. Kyson Miller, Poff, good feed to Dawson. Dawson with an extra feed to Merritt. Good ball movement by the Bulldogs. Finish right at the rim for Merritt.
You know, I know they only have 8 points, but they really have been passing the ball well. A couple turnovers. Let's see if they can just continue passing it well and then finally scoring it at the end.
That was a great offensive possession. Miles Marshall, Rodebeck. 3, corner, up, knuckleballer, no good. Tapped out by Miles Marshall, picked up by Hayden Merritt, and a push down for Logan Whitney. 7:05 to go in the first half, 16-8 Centerburg. Hayden Merritt goes inside and lowers the head. No call on the contact, now dropped in for Dawson. He picks it up, tries to get it to Merritt, taken away by Soley. Little high-low, didn't work. Soley picked it off. 6:53 to go in the first half, 16-8 Centerburg. Back behind him, Rodebeck. Rodebeck to basketball, gives it up now. Miles Marshall, a pass from Bennett Hill. On the right elbow, Jack Lawrence back to the basket. Not doing a lot of moving right now. Hands it off for Miles Marshall. 6:39 to go in the first half. 16-8 Centerburg. Ball on the floor, picked up. And going the other way, Dawson picked it up. Whitney pushes and taken away by Soley, who will get it now for Miles Marshall, who scoops it up and misses right at the rim, but cleaned up by Jack Lawrence.
Jack Lawrence always there, always hustling.
Yeah, he got back and was able to clean up that transition miss there. And now Logan Whitney almost lost on the sideline. And Ryan Powell tried to call a timeout. He just kind of looks and goes, well, I gave it a. So.
I think that echoed.
Yeah, 6:14 to go in this first half. And Ryan Powell voicing his frustration for his team right now, 18-8. And they have turned it over a lot. He's right.
Yeah, that wasn't Tyler yelling in the background.
No. 6:05 to go in this first half, and Centerburg up by 10. Miles Marshall just above the foul line. Marshall, the basketball. Tries to flip it to Soley. Soley's got it on the right wing. Soley. He's got it for Centerburg. 5:55 to go in the first half. Centerburg up by 10. Bounces now for Rodebeck. Rodebeck scoops one up, scoops one in, and he gets another bucket.
It's a great move. Hope we can see some more come out of his bag there in the offensive end.
He's got 4 in the ball game. And down the backcourt, Logan Whitney's got it. Pushes now for Merritt. Merritt on the floor, and it hits the end line, but a foul, I think, is called on Miles Marshall. It is. And with 5:38 to go in this first half, it's 20-8. Centerburg right now leading the East Knox Bulldogs. 5:38 to go in this first half. As Kyson Miller will inbound it in the backcourt to Logan Whitney. 5:35 to go this first half. Centerburg led 13-6 at the end of one. It's extended their lead here. Right wing to Corbin Pop. Drops it in for Merritt. Merritt stops, puts it up with the right hand. Can't finish. Too strong. Rebound. Dawson just kind of flipped it up there, and he got it to go. And a big bucket there for East Knox to get back within 10.
A little bit of luck, a little bit of talent.
Drop inside. Jack Lawrence can't finish right at the rim. Dawson clears it for the East Knox Bulldogs. Now Pop. Pop has it in the front court. Kind of poked away. Got it back to Pop. Corbin Pop inside. Puts the shot up. No good. Foul on the floor. 5:05 to go first half. Centerburg doubling up East Knox 20-10 right now. The foul is on Bennett Hill. Hill has been rather quiet. He has the one free throw in the opening quarter, but that's it. And now a substitution for the East Knox Bulldogs. And I believe that's Parker Kimball that came into the ball game. And dribbling left of the lane, spinning inside Merritt is fouled. And the foul is on Miles Marshall. That'll be his second foul. And so 4:58 to go in this first half, and it is 20-10. Our score. Centerburg with the lead. Trevin Harris about to check back in for Centerburg. And looking for Dawson. Just went off the back of Miles Marshall. And out of bounds. And
they must have cracked in the book. That's
Miles Marshall will check out of the ball game. Trevin Harris in for him. So, and Centerburg using a little more depth here tonight. Or this afternoon. Corbin Pop dribbling into the lane, stopping, spinning back behind him. Hayden Merritt sets for a three. Too strong. He's been a little strong on it so far. Good box out by Bennett Hill. Now Rodebeck gives it up for Harris, taken away by Pop. Pop splits the defenders, has it going down the left of the lane, and he stops. He slips, looking for help, and it's going to be a jump ball. It'll be a jump ball. And 4:40 to go in this first half, 20-10.
Interesting. Looks like we had some bench chatter come there from the Trojans.
Yep. 4:40 to go in this first half, 20-10. East Knox really needs to get a bucket here, get this back within single digits. Hayden Merritt's been a little off on his shot here tonight. Looks good, but it's just been a little long, spinning inside, and they give it up for Miller. Miller looking for Merritt. Merritt makes the catch. Merritt double team. Merritt spins, puts it up with the right hand, partially blocked, picked up by Sully, who will push with 4:22 to go in the first half. Leaves it Bennett Hill high on the right. 20-10 Centerburg. Bennett Hill with it, high on the right. Drops it for Jack Lawrence, who's got the basketball. Jack Lawrence puts it up with the left hand and is fouled, and will head to the free throw line, Jack Lawrence. So he makes a move and gets fouled. And for the Centerburg Trojans, opportunity to extend their 20-10 lead. It was 13-6 Centerburg at the end of the first quarter. Centerburg got up by as many as 7 there in that opening quarter. It was 11-4 at one point, 9-2 at one point as well. Free throw good for Lawrence.
I was going to say, you got to be frustrated for East Knox. I know that when they watched film, they've seen that before. Jack Lawrence kind of just getting deep in the paint, using that left-hand hook, you know, not the sky hook, but just that left-hand hook, and you foul him. The 3 guys went after him there. So
Tyson Miller has it in the backcourt. Leaves it for, I believe, Parker Kimball. Now Pop with a basketball. Pop has it, gives it up Miller. Miller the basketball. 3:55 to go in this first half. 3 by Pop, fires one away, leaves it strong. Hayden Merritt had it for a second, and it goes off his hand as Rodebeck hits it. And I guess it went off of Merritt's body or his hand with 3:51 to go in the first half. Scores 22-10 Centerburg.
I was glad to see Pop shoot 1 3. Like you said, Merritt was kind of shooting most of the threes. It's good to see somebody else from East Knox let it fly.
Trevin Harris 1 and a 3 for the right wing. Now he gives it back to Bennett Hill, shooting 48% from behind the arc. And they give it for Jack Lawrence. Here's a 3. Give it up again by Trevin Harris. Scoops inside, puts it up no good. Jack Lawrence offensive rebound and a stick back with the left hand.
The cleanup crew, the custodian there, Bucket, just cleaning it up and putting it back in.
24-10. Centerburg has the lead inside. Nice move by Dawson, and he finishes right to the rim.
Just can't let him get baseline. So many opportunities baseline to score, and just kind of put himself at a disadvantage there. Sule had nothing to do.
Rodebeck with a 3. No. Rebound pulled down. Kimball pushing. Back behind him now into the front court, Kyson Miller. Kyson Miller has the basketball. Kyson Miller spins around. Kyson Miller looking inside. Good job by Dawson, and he finishes right on the rim. Dawson starting to get hot here. He's a big body in there.
Kyson Miller picked up his dribble, was looking like a bad thing was about to happen, then finds a great little lob pass there for the bucket.
Back within 10 now. Trevin Harris trying to get inside. Dawson keeps his footing there, and now in the left corner, Soley finds a cutting Bennett Hill, who finishes left of the rim. Now we got some pace to this game.
Yeah, great give and go there between Soule and Hill.
14 seconds later, Centerburg answers it. Kyson Miller in the backcourt. Ball knocked away by Trevin Harris, goes right by Ryan Powell, and into the ball game. Briar Korzek, he's been good when he's been in. 2:26 to go in this first half, 26-14 Centerburg. Trying to go to 3-0 in the conference, the Trojans. And East Knox trying to pick up their second KMAC win. Korzek gives it up. Miller goes inside. He puts a floater off the glass, and it's good by Miller.
The kind shooter's rule.
Looked like it was going to be a little too strong at first.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Got it to go, 26-16. Centerburg the lead. East Knox needs to stop right now. Spinning on the baseline as Harris gives it up for Bennett Hill into the right corner. He dribbles the right baseline. He stops. He puts up, gets blocked by Merritt, and then a travel is called on Bennett Hill as Logan Whitney checks in just under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter, 26-16. Want to thank Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction, Pizza Cottage, as well as New Directions for you to this afternoon's broadcast. Our final one's at 2024, then we'll get back at it in the new year as well. But we'll have one more next Saturday at Delaware Hayes. Hayden Merritt on the left wing. Bounces now for Logan Whitney, 26-16 Centerburg, Logan Whitney. He bounces for Kyson Miller. He fires away a deep three, no good. Rebound, Jack Lawrence, good box out for Lawrence. And now a push for Trevin Harris, middle of the floor. Into the lane, corner three. Rodebeck, he's not afraid to fire it, and he does it, and he nails it.
Looks at the confidence.
Got it from downtown. 29-16, 125 to go here in the second quarter. And Centerburg with a 13-point lead. Bounce into the front court now. Korzek, Miller, corner three, Poff. Up and no good. Rebound, Trevin Harris for Centerburg. Trojans 29-16 with the lead. Nice feed to Jack Lawrence. Finishes right of the rim, Lawrence. And it's 31-16 as Centerburg has the lead right now. And they have opened this puppy up by 15 now. Korzek, Poff dribbling inside, loses it. Ball on the floor, bodies flying. Jack Lawrence had it for a second. Now Poff with it. Now Miller, a wide open three from the left wing. Up and good. Not a lot of rotation on it, but he got it to go. And it's 31-19. Needed that one.
You just knew that was going to be the first three that East Knox hits after all those bodies hit the floor and the ball rolls right to him.
Trevin Harris into the right corner. They've had a lot of open looks. They just haven't hit them tonight. Bennett Hill has the basketball high on the left. Under 30 seconds to go in the first half. 31-19. Centerburg with a 12-point lead. I'm impressed with Rodebeck for Centerburg. He's not afraid to shoot it.
Well, hey, what I tell you before, if you can get some good, bench minutes, bench points, 8 to 10 points from Rodebeck or somebody like, Miles Marshall, you're going to be sitting pretty good.
Solely has it high on the left. Logan Whitney all over him now. Gives it over Rodebeck with 9 seconds to go in the first half. 31-19 Centerburg. Rodebeck, he fires away a three. Why not? He hit it again. So he nails it.
Oh, my Lord.
And then Bennett Hill tries to put it up, and it's no good at the buzzer. And a foul is going to be called on Logan Whitney as the buzzer sounds. So Bennett Hill will have an opportunity at the free throw line as Whitney will pick up the foul. And so Bennett Hill will get to go to the free throw line with nobody there.
Yeah, so what just happened there was a lot that happened. Carter Rodebeck, like I said, confidence in the last three. He heat checks himself in front of two Bulldog defenders. Those puppies were trailing away, and then Bennett Hill just made an excellent hustle play, stole the ball on a lackadaisical inbound, then gets kind of undercut, almost made the N1, cashed in the first one. Let's see if he gets the second one. This would be an amazing last 4 minutes for the Trojans.
Hits one of two, so it's 35-19 at the half, and Centerburg outscores East Knox there in that second half by a final of 22-13 in that quarter. So 35-19 is the score at the break as Carter Rodebeck doing a nice job for Centerburg off the bench, and Jack Lawrence doing some dirty work. And on the other side, Landon Dawson doing a nice job for the East Knox Bulldogs in the post. 35-19. We are ready for halftime as the Centerburg Trojans lead it by 16. Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction High School Hoops, WMVO.
Dear parents, don't wait. Educate. Empower us with knowledge. Keep talking to us about underage alcohol use, dating violence, and mental health. You are empowering us with knowledge to be the change. Thank you. This ad is sponsored by the Teen Advisory Council of Knox County.
We are empowering Knox County youth. Visit us online to learn more at www.tacofknox.org. That's tacofknox.org.
Your sinks are backed up, the electric in your master bedroom needs rewired, and now the wife is asking for a new addition. It's time to get in touch with Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Now Construction. Give Brian and his team a call at 740-627-8004. They can fix your electrical and plumbing needs and give your bathroom and kitchen a remodel.
Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction is a proud sponsor for all the local high school teams.
Enjoy the season. Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Construction. 740-627-8004.
35-19 score here at the break. Centerburg nearly doubling up the East Knox Bulldogs. And in that first half, Centerburg got up 5-0 in the opening quarter. At one point, they were up by a score of 9-2, led at 13-6 at the end of one. Then slowly started that second quarter with a triple for Centerburg. They're up their lead to 10. But then it was Hayden Merritt answering, get it back to 8. Jack Lawrence and Carter Rodebeck was really good in that first half. He had 9 in the first half. He comes up with a bucket to make it 20-8, the 5:46 mark. Then after Dawson scored to cut the lead to 10, Lawrence had a pair of free throws and then a bucket to make it 24-10. Dawson back-to-back buckets for East Knox to get it back to 10 with 2:49 to go in that second quarter. Then Bennett Hill, Tyson Miller, they trade buckets, but Rodebeck comes up with a score along with Lawrence to make it 31-16 Centerburg with just over a minute to go in the quarter. Tyson Miller bags an open three to make it 31-19. And then Rodebeck hits another three, make it 34-19. Then the Hills 1 of 2 free throws there after the buzzer sounded. But for Centerburg, they're leading at 35-19. And as we talked about going into this, Centerburg knows they're going to have to use their bench. They can't rely on just the 5 guys in there. Carter Rodebeck, tremendous in that first half off the bench. And look, he's going to miss some shots because he just willingly fires it up there, but he had 9 points in the first half. And Jack Lawrence, as you mentioned in the pregame, doing the dirty work, and he's had a nice first half as well.
Yeah, no, Jack Lawrence, he's been all over the place. Like I always thought about, in the NBA they count how some players run more up and down the court. Jack Lawrence today I think already has about 2 to 3 miles. You need to put an Apple Watch on him because he is all over this court. Offense, defense, it just seems like most of their good plays and most of these 35 points have just been whether Lawrence gets a steal, Lawrence creates a turnover, and then in turn either scores or someone else scores on the other end. But like you're touching on with Carter Rodebeck, it's big having 9 points off of your 6th, 7th man, off the bench. 9 points is huge. I mean, right now, that's almost half of the points that East Knox scores. So if you have a guy on the bench scoring half of the opponent's points, that's a good sign. That's usually a good sign.
And of course, going into this ball game, one of the guys to look out for was Hayden Merritt, a guy averaging 13 points per game, but in the first half he had just 4. And we talked about it right in the pregame, was the fact that the supporting cast would be important. I mean, Trevin Harris comes into the ball game averaging over 13 points per game, and Trevin Harris did not score a single point in the second quarter. And he has just 4 points in the game. He and Merritt both averaging 13 points per game, only with 4 in the first half. Yet their teams in different parts of this ballgame. 35 for Centerburg, 19 for East Knox. We expected the transition. at one point, it was very good basketball, up and down, a lot of points and everything. So really the flow of the game has been good throughout. But the bottom of the line is Centerburg 35-19. They lead it by 16 at the half. And Ryan Powell's group got to kind of regroup as they go into the locker room.
Yeah, like you said, regroup. I just think didn't end the half maybe the way they wanted to. Obviously, I know giving up 22 points in the second quarter, that's not winning basketball. I just think they kind of just let the foot off the gas and just forgot to drive the car in those last minute because it just seems like they spiraled out of control going into halftime. So hopefully this kind of break, this 10-minute halftime break will be the thing to recharge their batteries up for the second half. But kind of how you were touching on, both of our guys that we tagged as like the leading scorers coming into this, you know, Hayden Merritt, although he isn't high on the scoring, on the box score right now, he's been moving around. He's been at the top of the key. He's been in the paint. He's been on the wing. He's been in the elbow. It seems like he's been just moving around, kind of keeping everything flowing for East Knox. And on the other end, that's big by Trevor Harris, you know, the humility that you're showing by, you know, being able to be a part of the team. And maybe you're not the scoring option on, you know, this quarter or this day or this game, but the fact that he can keep getting turnovers, you know, creating layups. I think he's probably got about 2 or 3 assists right now. So just very, very big humility being shown by Trevor Harris. Let's see if he can, you know, maybe get some points in the second half. But, hey, if he keeps rolling like the way it is right now, he'll have a happy day if they win at the end of the day, I think.
Well, 35-19 right now. If you're the East Knox Bulldogs, you got to be a team that I wouldn't say you got to start forcing threes because you don't want to do that, but you got to stop Centerburg in transition and start to hit some open shots. I mean, they've had some good looks. Landon Dawson's done a nice job on the post for this East Knox team. And here we are at the half, 35-19. And apparently Don didn't, he has an extra Tennessee shirt. So walking through here. Had him one on, a different one on last night.
He said he's ready for tonight's radio broadcast.
Yeah, 35-19. We won't be there. 35-19, Centerburg leading at the half in this KVAC matchup. We will have the game, though, here on the radio. For those watching on the live stream, we won't. But on the radio, WMBO pregame is at 6:30 tonight for Ohio State and Tennessee. And then the next broadcast for us will be probably when Ohio State plays the next time in their next ballgame. But 35-19 is the score right now in high school boys basketball. One of our final broadcasts. The next one we will have will be a week from today in the evening, 6 p.m. your tip, as Mount Vernon takes on Delaware Hayes, the Pacers, at a boys high school basketball. Here in boys high school basketball, it's 35-19 as the Centerburg Trojans full control here. Trojans trying to get to 3-0 in the Knox-Morrow Athletic Conference. We'll take this break. We'll come back. Second half action is coming up next on WMBO.
Pizza Cottage in Mount Vernon is one of 11 pizza cottages in Ohio. They are among the nation's best performing pizzerias and ranked in Pizza Today. The finest ingredients is used daily. Treat your customers and employees like family and always give back to the community. Offering not only takeout but also dine-in and full bar. Book your group parties today. Find Pizza Cottage on Facebook or go to pizza-cottage.com to begin your journey of tastes.
You taught him how to hit a receiver, how to hit a baseball, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time did you spend teaching him what not to hit? You play a critical role in the prevention of domestic and sexual violence. The earlier we start talking to young people about healthy relationships and respect, the more likely they are to stand up when they see violence in our community. This message is sponsored by the AIM program of New Directions. Act, Impact, Motivate.
Back here in the Berg for our second consecutive day, and much like last night's game went, Centerburg in full control. Of course, Centerburg was only up by 5 at the half in the girls' game last night before winning by 20. But here, Centerburg up by 16 at the break on the East Knox Bulldogs on the boys' side, as the Centerburg Trojans got good bench play from Rodebeck.
And Miles Marshall.
And Miles Marshall, he came in, but Rodebeck really put the points up, 9 points in the first half. Lawrence had 10. For Centerburg, though, they go back to their starting 5. Lawrence, Bennett Hill, Blaine Ball in there, Trevin Harris, and Isaiah Sully. And for East Knox, Landon Dawson, Corbin Poff, as well as Hayden Merritt, Logan Whitney, and Tyson Miller. As we get ready for third quarter action, 35-19. Bennett Hill controls it in the backcourt. Centerburg up by 16 with the basketball. Bennett Hill has it, gives it up for Trevin Harris. Trevin Harris to Blaine Ball. Blaine Ball on the left elbow now, back to the basket. Jack Lawrence dribbles once, hands it off Blaine Ball. Giving up a three as Trevin Harris spins in the lane, bounces away, and taken away by Kyson Miller. Logan Whitney now pushes into the front court to Kyson Miller. Catches with one hand on the right wing. Kyson Miller dribbling on the right baseline, bumped though by Blaine Ball. Actually, it's by Jack Lawrence. I believe that's his third foul. Yeah, it's his third. 7:35 to go third quarter. Centerburg up 16. I guess when you're up 16, you can deal with three fouls at that point.
I think Marfka was a little surprised. I don't think he thought Lawrence had three there.
Yep, that's his third. Now he knows. Solely tries to get it. Kyson Miller picks it up, goes in the lane, scoops it up, leaves it bottom of the rim, gets his own rebound, looks for some help, now pulls it out. Bounces for Dawson into the left corner. Here's a three. A man in his face leaves it short. This Miller. Rebound Jack Lawrence, Centerburg. Bennett Hill pushing with 7:18 to go in the third quarter, 35-19. Harris gives it up for Hill. Look at that. Rodebeck's already getting ready to come back in. Lawrence back to the basket. Lawrence. Now Trevin Harris fakes a three. Solely on a cut. Now into the lane. Scoops it up and in right to the rim. First points up the third quarter.
Yeah, two solid possessions. I know one turnover, but one bucket. Just got to keep having possessions like that in the half court for Centerburg.
Well, this has been the quarter that has hampered East Knox the last couple of ball games. Trying to play better here. Landon Dawson, it goes through their hands. Hayden Merritt gets it, has a chance, believes it's short, got his own rebound, scoops it up and in.
Brick and rip. There it is.
Right to the rim.
It's been a while. I think it's been 2 games since we've had a brick and rip, but there was the textbook definition.
And now Soley has the basketball. Stops on the right wing, keeps his dribble though against Corbin Pop. Now Blaine Ball swings it. Bennett Hill, left wing to Harris. 6:27 to go third quarter. Trevin Harris been quiet offensively, only 4 points in the first half. Solely on the left point. 6:20 to go third quarter. Solely left wing, looks for help. Gives it Blaine Ball on the right point. Blaine Ball right wing. Trevin Harris. 6:15 to go in the third quarter. Centerburg up 37-21. Inside, Trevin Harris scoops it up. No good on the reverse. Ball tipped to the air, picked up by Merritt. Pushed now for Whitney. Logan Whitney into the front court. Bounces with one hand to Miller. Miller gives up a three. Picks up his dribble, looking for help. Needs somebody, finds Logan Whitney high on the left. Now Kyson Miller bounces in for Dawson. Good first half for Dawson. Bounces it off his shoe, taken away by Harris. Harris crosses over. Harris back behind him to Ball to slow it down. Sully on the floor, into the lane, floater, up, good, Sully. He's got 4 in the quarter.
He's looked good here in the half court in this second half.
He's got 4 this quarter and 6 in the ball game. 2 in the first quarter. Actually, he's got 9 in the ball game. He had 3 in the second quarter, too. Dawson going inside, knocked away, taken away by Lawrence. A lot of turnovers for East Knox. They turned it over in the first 3 possessions of the game, and here they continue their turnover issues. Trevin Harris on the right wing, Centerburg up by 18 with 5:13 to go in the third quarter. Into the left corner, Ball fires up a three, tries to get on the board, hit the backboard, top of the backboard. It's knocked out of bounds, and we'll go back to East Knox. 5:07 to go in the third quarter. And Rodebeck is in, and Lawrence takes a seat for Centerburg. Jack Lawrence. So with 5:07 to go in this third quarter, it's 39-21. Centerburg got 18-point advantage. Corbin Poff, right wing. He gives it up to Armstrong, who's into the ball game. Now inside, Korosek can't finish right at the rim. Ball knocked around, picked up by Trevin Harris, and there's what you're talking about. Trevin Harris is getting after it. And Rodebeck, he wants a three from the left wing. Air balls it this time, right to the hands of Korosek, and Merritt will push up the right sideline. Now kicks it off his foot. Ball on the floor, picked up by Bennett Hill, has a 2-on-1 with Trevin Harris, and gives it up for Harris. Harris finishes left of the rim, and Centerburg's lead up to 20 now.
Like we said, Centerburg's been looking very comfortable in the transition. It's the half court that's really hampered them, but if they can keep getting looks like that really quick, really fast, I think they'll be successful at the end of this game.
Nice feed by Hill and finished by Harris. And now Miller gives it up to Merritt. Merritt into the lane, scoops it up. No good. Rebound, Harris again. Boy, Harris, as you mentioned, he may not be scoring a lot, but he's just getting after it. He did score the last bucket, though, for Centerburg. Rodebeck inside. He scoops it up, leaves it short. Good rebound there for Armstrong as he is fouled. No, they say he hits the inline and it will stay with Centerburg. Halfway through the third quarter. Again, good pace to this third quarter, 41-21. Centerburg the lead.
Good pace. I think on one end it's a little out of control, on the other end Not so much.
Peyton Hall in for the first time. Corner three up and no good. Long and a rebound. Pulled down going the other way. Korsek gives it up to Miller. Miller into the lane. Miller scoops it up. Scoops it in. Right of the rim. Foul on Rodabek.
Yeah, good little finish there. A little fillet off the glass. Spins in and, hey, get one more at the line here. I'm not going to say anything while this free throw goes up because I think I've jinxed the last 5 shooters across the last 3 games.
Well, right now, Miller's going to try to complete the three-point play. He does. And makes it 41-24 with 3:50 to go in this third quarter. Centerburg the 17-point advantage. Hill gives it up for Rodabek, tries to save it and throws it away. Armstrong the other way. Armstrong to push. Armstrong bounced it off his leg, threw it back behind him to Pop. Pop crosses over, looks for Armstrong, and throws it into the hallway. 3:32 to go in the third quarter, and it's 41-24. A little miscommunication there for the Bulldogs.
Like you touched on, just being very careless here in this third quarter for East Knox, throwing the ball away. I believe it's up to 5 or 6 turnovers now on maybe even 6 or 7 possessions.
Into the front court, Hill gives it for Rodabek, and he throws it away. Yeah, Coach always told me not to throw those one-handed passes, and they're not working out for the Bulldogs or the Trojans today.
Yeah, I think I've heard about 3 or 4 coaches in my career say that. So I guess that's a general rule of thumb across the high school basketball coaches.
Yeah. Didn't get across those last possessions. Bounces back behind him for Peyton Hall into the front court. Miller gives it up Armstrong. Armstrong right of the lane, into the corner. That's Dawson now swinging around Hall. Gives it up Miller. 3:04 to go third quarter. Centerburg up 41-24. Hall right wing puts it on the floor. The freshman lost it. Got it near the baseline. Throws it away to Blaine Ball. Blaine Ball pushing for Centerburg. Blaine Ball into the front court. Trevin Harris left corner fakes the 3. Dribbles left of the lane. Spins around off the glass. Nice finesse and finish for Harris.
Little spin cycle to the left. Great right hand finish on the left side of the glass. He's been doing it all today. Him and Jack Lawrence.
Well, Harris not scoring a ton, but he's doing a lot of different things. Nice feed to Hull, who finishes right of the rim for East Knox.
They just got to kind of Control-C, Control-V that, copy and paste it, because they do have some good possessions, but then they just back it up with some
great
turnovers.
Pass by Ball to Harris.
Now he's getting his points up.
And he is. Good pass by Ball. Did that a lot in football season, from what I understand. Dawson has it underneath, left of the rim, puts it up, no good. Hill got his hand on it. It's knocked out of bounds off of Hill. 2:06 to go third quarter. Centerburg up by 19. They were up 16 at the half, 35-19, and timeout as Miller ties the shoe, and Miles Marshall set to check in. And they will have him check in. And Blaine Ball will sit on the bench. Well, Miles Marshall in for Blaine Ball. 2:06 to go here in this third quarter. Centerburg 45-26, the lead. Kyson Miller inside, scoops it up, no good. Ball rebounded by Sully for Centerburg. Pushes it up for Harris. Great feed again in transition, and a finish left of the rim for Harris. Centerburg looking good right now. Well, Harris alone in this quarter has 8 points. And he's getting going a little bit. Now he's got 12. He only had 4 in the first half. Taken away by Hill. He's going to push it up to Harris. Here we go again. Harris finishes left of the rim. Harris is on a roll. Scored the last 6 points of this game. And Centerburg is all over East Knox right now. 49-26. The transition buckets for Centerburg. Not much of a half-court team, but, boy, they are doing a nice job in transition. As Dawson kicks it back out for Korzak. Ball knocked away, and now Harris, he was seeing an opportunity again, but it's knocked out of bounds by Harris.
No, but you love that, though. That's the 50-50 balls you got to get on the floor and got to get after.
Thomas Schaller is now into the ball game for the first time as he checks in for Sully. Well, this ball game got out of hand. Centerburg was up 13-6 at the end of one. But, again, the third quarter has not been kind to East Knox. Here in the last 2 games going into today. But here in this one, they're struggling once again. Corbin Poff, and now a timeout by the official. And 6 guys were on the floor. So
Armstrong
will take it. Okay, so they had a 6-on-5 for about 3 seconds.
And they'll move the offense back about 10 yards there for the infraction.
49-26, Centerburg the big lead right now. Logan Whitney stops head of the key, gives it up on the left wing. There's an open three for Miller. It is up and good. Miller can shoot it if he gets an open look. 49-29, 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. As Centerburg up by 20 with 40 seconds now to go. Schaller gives it up to Hill. Bennett Hill into the front court. Bennett Hill high on the right. Bennett Hill looking for Trevin Harris. Poked away this time. 31 seconds to go in the third quarter. Well, for East Knox, you look at the last couple of ball games.
I believe they called that Centerburg's ball. I know everyone in the gym, just walked down there.
Yeah, now the officials are going to talk about it. Well, East Knox is outscored by 15 in their last ball game in the third quarter. 21 against Fredericktown in the third quarter. Centerburg will have it. And so far in this quarter, it hasn't really actually been that bad. They've only been outscored by 4 here in the period. Seems like a lot more, but it's only 4. Kyson Miller drops it in. Dawson spins around. Dawson loses it out of bounds, and it'll go back to Centerburg. Well, 10 points here in this quarter for the Bulldogs, but a couple of three-point plays by Miller helping out. Hill into the left corner. Rodebeck, he wakes up firing, and he leaves it short, but gets it back off an offensive rebound for Hill. 4 seconds go third quarter. Trevin Harris steps back. Trevin Harris fires away a 3. Why not? That's why not. Air ball and the end of the third quarter. But Harris has a very good third quarter. So do the Trojans, though, but they only outscore East Knox by 4. They lead it by 20, though. Trojans and Bulldogs heading to the fourth quarter. Cubbage Electric Plumbing Construction High School Hoops on WMVO.
Mount Vernon Players presents the Charles Dickens classic, The Christmas Carol. The radio show production will be aired on Christmas Eve at 7 o'clock p.m. on WMVO 100.9 FM or streaming on the WMVO app. Tune in and listen to Scrooge being visited by a series of ghosts, past, present, and future, as he discovers the truths about himself as he realizes the importance of the Christmas season. Again, a Charles Dickens classic on Christmas Eve, 7 to 7:30 on WMVO by the Mount Vernon Players.
You taught him how to hit a receiver, how to hit a baseball, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time did you spend teaching him what not to hit? You play a critical role in the prevention of domestic and sexual violence. The earlier we start talking to young people about healthy relationships and respect, the more likely they are to stand up when they see violence in our community. This message is sponsored by the AIM program of New Directions. Act, Impact, Motivate.
Back here in Centerburg, where it's 49-29. Centerburg up 20. We start the fourth quarter. Trojans trying to go to 3-0 in the KMAC and 4-2 overall. Miles Marshall, Trevin Harris, Bennett Hill, Thomas Schaller, and Rodebeck for Centerburg. Miller, a corner 3, up and good, nails it. So he's hit back-to-back triples. And he can shoot it. Now it's back to a 17-point game with 7:47 to go in the ball game. Centerburg facing now full court pressure. Bennett Hill in the backcourt, pushes front court for Miles Marshall. Miles Marshall spins around, gets out of it, almost traveled. Now the ball taken away by Pop into the hands of Dawson. Now a push for Miller. Miller stays hot. He can keep his team in the ball game. Miller goes inside, kicks it out. Here's a 3. It's up and no good off the heel. Rebound Miles Marshall. Now you're seeing 3 starters about to check in for Centerburg. Here's Harris crossing over. Harris good in the third quarter, and he can't get it to go on this shot. Pop picks it up. Pop got Miller. Nice feed to Miller. Miller cannot finish left to the rim at a wide open look. Great pass by Pop up the floor.
Beautiful look.
But couldn't finish it at the rack. And it's a 17-point lead for Centerburg. Trevin Harris into the lane, spins, and he took about 4 different steps, and they call a foul. And they called a foul and not the travel. And
I'm going to have to side with Coach Powell on that one.
Yep, 6:58 to go in the fourth quarter. Although I don't comment on officiating.
Nope, I don't.
49-32. As Gary's done a lot of games with me. You've probably done even more. I do not comment on it. 49-32. Free throw is up, no good by Harris. That did not look good. Jack Lawrence is in for Schaller. Playing ball in for Miles Marshall. And Isaiah Sully in for Rodebeck. 49-32. 6:58 to go in this game. It's far from over at this point. Harris hits 1 of 2.
Kind of like my old coach said, I respect them for giving us their time, but not when they waste both of ours.
Miller gives it up. Poff. Fouled by Lawrence. I believe that's number 4 on Lawrence, if I'm correct. 6:51 to go in the game. 50-32. Centerburg the lead. You like that the fouls reset? I'm still trying to get used to that. It's been like that for a while now. Yeah.
I don't like that it's kind of hard in a quarter to get there, especially if you have like refs that don't call too many fouls like we see. We only have 2 fouls. I don't think – how many we have maybe 4 fouls in the last quarter? We didn't have many.
Yeah, didn't have the bonus, I can tell you that.
No. We haven't.
Merritt, he's been pretty quiet. Tries to give it for Pop. Ball on the floor. Pop will pick it up on the left block. He gets double teamed. Now puts a wild shot up. Tipped out by Harris off the miss. And now Bennett Hill pushes. He's got Blaine Ball. Feeds Blaine Ball. Bobbles at Blaine Ball. Into the lane. Spins around. Sully tries to step into one. Now puts it on the floor. 6:33 to go in the ball game. Centerburg 50-32. They're up by 18 here in this one. Blaine Ball hands it off. Trevin Harris. Harris to Sully. Now to Jack Lawrence on the right elbow. Back to the basket. Hands it off Sully. Quick jumper. Left at bottom of the rim. On the front. Rebound Dawson. Reese Knox. Pop pushes now to Merritt. Merritt into the right corner. There's a 3 by Miller. He hit it again. How about Miller right now? He is on fire. And it's 50-35. 6:08 to go in the game. Timeout East Knox will take it with them. Bulldogs within 15. 6:08 to go in the game on WMBO.
You're backed up, the electric in your master bedroom needs rewired, and now the wife is asking for a new addition. It's time to get in touch with Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Now Construction. Give Brian and his team a call at 740-627-8004. They can fix your electrical and plumbing needs and give your bathroom and kitchen a remodel.
Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction is a proud sponsor for all the local high school teams.
Enjoy the season. Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Construction. 740-627-8004.
Pizza Cottage in Mount Vernon is one of 11 pizza cottages in Ohio. They are among the nation's best performing pizzerias and ranked in Pizza Today. The finest ingredients is used daily. Treat your customers and employees like family and always give back to the community. Offering not only takeout but also dine-in and full bar. Book your group parties today. Find Pizza Cottage on Facebook or go to pizza-cottage.com to begin your journey of tastes.
Tyson Miller came in averaging 10 points per game. He's got 17, including a pair of threes here in the fourth quarter to cut the lead to 15. And a timeout by Ryan Powell. His team out there right now. Armstrong is out there with Poff and also Korosek out there. Pressure in the backcourt. Sully gets it into the front court for Centerburg. Poked away from behind. Picked up by Hayden Merritt. He's been pretty quiet offensively. Want to probably try to find Miller if you can. Merritt doesn't. Finishes right of the rim. Merritt. And now the East Knox Bulldogs, tell you what, they're not giving in.
Nope, no bit of
And
life.
foul balls all alone. Finishes left to the rim. They got ahead of everybody. Back to a 15-point game. And now into the front court. Ball knocked away, and Bennett Hill pushing for Centerburg. Bennett Hill, right of the lane. Now into the lane. Scoops it up with the left hand. No. Rebound Lawrence. Cleans up and got it to go Lawrence.
Jack the janitor Lawrence, man, always cleaning up the mistakes and fixing them for the Trojans. Gotta love it.
Well, he had 10 in the first half. Didn't score in the third quarter. Ball knocked away by Centerburg again, and now Lawrence the other way. And now the turnover's coming back for East Knox. Lawrence finishes left of the rim, and he's fouled by Dawson. So Lawrence, he had 10 points in the first half. He didn't score in the third quarter. Now the putback, the bucket, and an opportunity to get this back to a 20-point game as Hall and Pop about to check in for East Knox. Well, Bulldogs got it back within 13 at one point, but then the steal and lay-in by Ball, the put back by Lawrence, and now Lawrence trying to complete the three-point play to get it back to a 20-point advantage, and he missed it. So 56-37. Centerburg right on lead, poked away from behind, picked up by Miller. Miller puts it on the floor this time. Miller 17 points in the game, fouled by Bennett Hill. Miller, averaging 10 points per game, has 17. Centerburg up 19, exactly 5 to play in the game.
I keep giving the ball to Miller. I mean, he just got fouled and even made that shot, even though it was on the floor. I mean, he ain't missing right now.
He is scoring the basketball very well. Landon Dawson's played well for this team as well. He's out of the ball game. Pop sets up for a jumper. He hasn't scored much today. He goes out of bounds as Pop misses there. And with 56-37 is the score. Centerburg up by 19 with 4:51 to go in the game. Back at it next Saturday for us at Delaware Hayes. Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets lost. Actually won against Watkins Memorial as the foul was on Poff. Their ball game last night. But Delaware Hayes and Mount Vernon, they've been playing for a long time. Khalil Iverson. Before that, Matt Bengaya. Of course, they just lost their all-time leading scorer at Delaware Hayes to graduation.
Great, solid player. Been watching him since he was a freshman.
Inside, Jesse Burris, his name, Trevin Harris. Of course, he played here against Devin Royal of the Buckeyes. Inside.
I remember that game. I worked that game. That was awesome.
I came in and watched it. That wasn't one we broadcasted, but boy, that was some high-level basketball. Blaine Ball gives it Bennett Hill. 4:25 to go in the game. 56-37. Centerburg up 19. Jack Lawrence. Now Isaiah Sully spins around, needs some help. Instead, they jump away from him, and he misses a point-blank shot. And Hayden Merritt gives it for Poff in the push. Poff inside. Poff scoops it up and in right of the rim.
Yeah, beautiful finish. Great take there by Poff.
And halfway through the quarter now, Sully loses it. Miller picks it up. Miller going down, laying it up. Blocked by Trevin Harris. Picked up by Hill. And Hill with a great feed to Sully, who can't finish. There's Jack Lawrence to clean it up.
I think that's maybe the fourth, fifth time you said that today. I mean, you might as well just have to make that an audio recording.
Well, great. I mean, there's some nice passing in this ball game. Can't finish there at the rim as Trevin Harris pushes into the front court. Trevin Harris goes inside, scoops it up, scoops it in, right of the rim. He's fouled. Centerburg playing very well in transition right now and leading at 60-39. But, well.
Starting to feel kind of like an open gym game, isn't it?
It really is.
Mm-hmm. I've been feeling it probably for about 2 quarters now. Just didn't want to say it yet.
Yeah, pretty much what it has felt like.
Yeah.
It's up and down. Marshall's in. Dawson's in. Sully is out.
But hey, Centerburg 60 points so far. I mean,
yeah. And it's the transition buckets. And Harris, who didn't do a ton in the first half, he's doing a lot more here in this half. Getting out in transition. His free throw is good. 3-point play. 61-39, under 3.5 to go. And now Whitney gives it up. Armstrong goes inside, fouled by Ball on the drive, and the shot is no good. And 3:20 to go in the game, 61-39 Centerburg. Trevin Harris had 10 points in the third quarter alone.
Yeah, he really sparked it up in the third quarter.
Excuse me, he had 12 points in the third quarter as Miller's got it.
Would like to see him get a better pass
takes it away,
there.
though. He's got the basketball. Here he goes. Trevin Harris to the rack. Blocked, but fouled by Hayden Merritt. 3:11 to go in the game. Well, he did get his average, and beyond that, 3:11 to go in this ball game. And back to the free throw line goes Trevin Harris.
Yeah, going back to that last possession on the inbound, like we said, Miller's been lighting it up in this half from three-pointer. He got a bad pass there in the corner. Really didn't let him get in the shooter's pocket. Couldn't get a shot off. It leads to a turnover, and now we have Harris at the line because of it.
And misses that one. Nope, he's got 19 points right now. He makes a free throw, and he has 20, and he does it.
20 of 62, that's not too bad.
Yeah. 62-39, Trevin Harris now knocked away by Blaine Ball, and he takes it. Takes it right away from Armstrong, and Ball can't finish right at the rim, but he is fouled, and Centerburg forcing a number of turnovers. Getting out in transition, 62-39. Centerburg up big right now by 23. 3 minutes to go in the game. Well,
Centerburg not giving up, keeping the gas on, or keeping the pedal on the gas there.
And Blaine Ball will go to the free throw line. I've seen a lot of Rodovec here in the second half after a nice first half from him. Blaine Ball free throw up and good, but what a second half right now for Trevin Harris. He's been brilliant. 20 points now in the game. Average just over 13 a game coming in. And he's done well. Centerburg's up big right now, up by 24 points. As a free throw by Ball doesn't make it 25. So it's 63-39 with 2:56 to go in the game. Whitney has it on the right wing, picks it up, and Drops it inside for Korosek. He's got the basketball. Back to Whitney. Whitney into the lane, cut off by Miles Marshall. Kicks it back to Korosek. He's looking in. Dribbles inside, spins around, knocked away, taken away. And there's Trevin Harris out in front of everybody. And he lays it off the glass and in right to the rim as Harris now has 22 in the ball game.
You saw Dawson coming. He said, oh, crap, somebody with some height actually behind me can't go dunk it.
He is getting out in transition. And credit to the guys getting it to him.
No, yeah.
They're feeding it right into the pocket. Here's Miller. He's got 20 in the game. J-Man averaging 10. And now Dawson has it with 2:15 to go in the contest. And a corner three by Miller. And he got it again. Boy, he's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd keep finding him. Yeah. I know it might be a little hard to
only a junior.
Make up 23 points, but I just keep finding him and see what he can do from that corner.
Miles Marshall to Jack Lawrence. Centerburg about to have some mass substitutions to clean the bench here with a minute and 50 to go in the game. 65-42. Ball with it. Ball back to Lawrence. Lawrence crosses over, leaves it for Bennett Hill. And Bennett Hill spins around. Bennett Hill with it. Centerburg up by 23 with a minute and 34 to go in the game.
There's that triangle offense.
And a foul on Corset. So for Centerburg, substitutions coming into the ball game. Stephen Sands, Thomas Schaller, and Rodebeck. As Ball will go to the free throw line now. Yep, I ran out of room on here. At 1:31 to go in this game. Gary, one of the hardest working guys in radio. Works production all week long, and then he comes out to all these games and does his thing. Gary Cooper is Gary with 2 R's. And then John Wareham upstairs with an H. And Lawrence comes out of the ball game.
He's working hard up there, too, in the nest up top.
He is. Yeah.
The crow's nest.
He's the guy that just comes in.
Silent killer.
They both just come in and do what they got to do. I'm not allowed to touch that stuff. 1 of 2 from the free throw line.
Lunch pail guys, 9 to 5.
Yeah, we don't usually work 9 to 5 here. Tell you that right now. Right now it is 66-42. They play these in the middle of the night. Now this is a good one here in the middle of the day. Missed there by Whitney, cleared by Sands. And Rodebeck has it for Centerburg with $1:15 to go. Rodebeck tries to keep it, gives it Sands. Sands gives it up. Marshall. Brody Cole about to check in. Got a substitution in there. Parker Kimball got the rebound there. He's got it right now. Under a minute to go in the game. Kimball has it on the right wing. Schaller to try to cut him off. He does so. Going inside. Shot is no good. Ball on the floor. Yeah, some sloppy basketball now. Miller has an open look. He's hit him all night. He airballs this one. And an offensive rebound by James Grinnell. And now a 3 from the right wing. No. Rebound Miles Marshall. 35 seconds to go in the game. And Ball has it for Centerburg. Ball with the basketball on the right wing. 30 seconds to go. I don't think Centerburg's going to get Cole into the ball game, because 25 seconds to go, they're up by 24. And much like we've had for most of our broadcasts this year, another blowout. 66-42. Ball, Rodebeck, 10 seconds to go. Cole's not getting in this one. And I didn't see who the player was for East Knox, but they're at the table too. 5 seconds to go. Ball has it, and there's your ball game. 66-42. It's the final. Centerburg wins it in this one by 24. All right, we're going to take this break, come back, give some final numbers. 66-42. Centerburg improves now to 4-2 on the season, 3-0 in the KMAC. East Knox to 2-5, 1-3 in the Knoxmore Athletic Conference. Take this break, we'll come right back. WMBO.
Visit the passions and commitments like sports, and that is especially true in this area. If you're enjoying this broadcast and own a business, your business can enjoy the benefits of being associated with and supporting these broadcasts while reaching a captive, passionate, and loyal audience. For information and to find out how your business can be a sponsor of these exciting broadcasts, call one of our marketing consultants today, 740-397-1000. That's 397-1000.
The Mount Vernon Players presents the Charles Dickens classic, The Christmas Carol. The radio show production will be aired on Christmas Eve at 7 o'clock p.m. on WMVO 100.9 FM or streaming on the WMVO app. Tune in and listen to Scrooge being visited by a series of ghosts, past, present, and future, as he discovers the truths about himself as he realizes the importance of the Christmas season. Again, a Charles Dickens classic on Christmas Eve, 7 to 7:30 on WMVO by the Mount Vernon Players.
Your sinks are backed up, the electric in your master bedroom needs rewired, and now the wife is asking for a new addition. It's time to get in touch with Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Now Construction. Give Brian and his team a call at 740-627-8004. They can fix your electrical and plumbing needs and give your bathroom and kitchen a remodel.
Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction is a proud sponsor for all the local high school teams.
Enjoy the season. Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Construction. 740-627-8004.
We are back here in the Berg, and back-to-back nights on the girls' side last night and on the boys' side tonight. Victories for the Trojans. Last night, Centerburg Lady Trojans won their 11th consecutive home game and improved to 8-0 on the season. And this afternoon, Centerburg boys, they go to 3-0 in the KMAC and 4-2 overall with a victory over the East Knox Bulldogs as the Bulldogs fall to 2-5 and 1-3 in the Knox Memorial Athletic Conference. As the Centerburg Trojans, they got out to a 13-6 lead, and at one point there in that third quarter, they were actually up by 20 going to the fourth quarter, and the Centerburg Trojans got out in transition, got buckets. Trevin Harris hot in the second half as he scored 18 of his 22 in the second half. Victory for the Centerburg Trojans.
Yeah, like we were kind of touching on, it felt kind of, for most of the game, I'd say about 3/4 of the floor, that was an open gym. And when it comes to that, Centerburg, if they're allowed to do whatever they want in transition and they're scoring in transition, it's going to be a long night. That's the one thing I think will be interesting going into break here, will be how will Centerburg improve their half-court offense. But today, great job on running the ball, getting out, pushing it, and as you can see, is probably one of their top most scoring games of the year. I probably would say it will be, overall, and when we're looking back at the season in March. But great win. Be interesting to see how East Knox recovers from this. I know not really too much positive you can bring from today's loss, but like we said, both teams are going to be able to take about a week off from games-ish, a week and a half, maybe one game here and there on break until the early January and school starts back up. But it'll be interesting to see how both these teams progress when they meet each other in the second time here in the KMAC.
Once again, it was good performance in this one from Centerburg's trio. 22 for Harris, 16 for Lawrence, 10 for Rodebeck, and Miller led the way for the East Knox Bulldogs with 20, came in averaging 10. So good job by Miller.
Dangerous
tonight.
in the corner.
But tonight, or this afternoon, Centerburg the winner, 66-42. Victorious once again. And we do want to thank Gary Cooper behind the camera, John Wareham behind the camera.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, John.
Appreciate their work, and hope they have a Merry Christmas. Because we'll see John. I'll see John. Well, you'll see John next week too. Gary is going to the Bahamas, and he will not be with us at Delaware Hayes, and he will come back on the cruise ship and be all refreshed. But we've got Delaney going to join us there at that ball game. So, all right, well, thanks for joining us here. WMVO's coverage of high school basketball presented by Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Construction. We'll be back at it 1 week from today at around 5:45 p.m. Mount Vernon and Delaware Hayes. Thanks for